Oh boy, it's all about Epstein and a big, beautiful betrayal. The stake starts now. Good evening and welcome to The Stakes. I'm Tara Setmayer. This is Michelle Kinney. We are the co-founders of the Seneca Project, and we are just here for it this week.
Honestly.
Oh my God. We should have like adult beverages in our cups today.
I actually thought about grabbing a whiskey, but you know what? I grabbed this Olipop instead, which has probiotic plant fiber in it.
Probably a better choice. I grabbed my, excuse me, your bird feeder is empty mug today with my squirrely on it, and it's just water in here, I swear. Because it's been back
Even
to
if
back.
it wasn't, it would be fine.
It would be fine. We're adults. We're allowed to have beverages when we want.
We're of age.
Unlike questions about some other people that may or may not have been of age and what they were doing. Like, what the hell is happening with this Epstein stuff? Oh my God. I just came off of guest hosting Mary Trump's show.
How'd that go?
Oh, it went great. She has the best audience. Like, her people are cool.
They're all really smart, and everybody kind of knows what's going on. So everyone's on the same page, having the same conversation.
Yes. And right before that, I was on with Jim Acosta.
I did watch that.
Favorite. Yes, because
I was all up in the chat.
Were you? Because I can't see.
I was dropping links to our ads and stuff, so in case people wanted to see it.
Oh, good. I'm glad because yes, there's a lot happening besides the Epstein stuff that's going on, which of course we're going to talk about because we have to, and Trump won't shut up about it, so we're not going to either. Seneca dropped a new ad this week going on the offensive. We say, listen, we walk the walk. We've been telling Democrats this is what you need to do. They haven't, so we did. So we'll show that in a minute. And there's just like a couple other weird things happening this week under the radar. I mean, Epstein's really been sucking the oxygen out of the room, but there's been a couple other things going on. Yeah. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk with that. We got to start with Epstein. Did you see Caroline Leavitt today?
I heard about it.
Okay. So I had the unfortunate time to watch and listen to a lot of it, and it takes a lot, but I knew that we would end up talking about it tonight, and because I was going on Jim and doing Mary, I was like, okay, I'm actually going to watch this so others don't have to. And it is just so infuriating to listen to this bitch.
She's one of the worst, I have to say.
I mean, one of the best worst.
She's
very good at what she does. She's actually worse than Kayleigh McEnany.
Because Kayleigh McEnany, if you remember, she would get up.
Trust.
And let me use this.
With the book.
My Webby's program that's been sitting here for 3 months. She'd be like, "Oh yes," and then she'd like dramatically open it.
There was a fucking binder,
right? Yeah, and it would be like, they'd be like, what's Trump's blah 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 opinion about this? Oh, and then just flip.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's nothing probably even in it.
Listen, there might have been so they could give a little intern something to do.
Yeah.
But I used to battle Kayleigh McEnany all the time on CNN.
I remember
Trump 1.0, and
the bigger the cross, the bigger the lies.
Yeah, the bigger the bitch. And that's what and I'm sorry, but all of them, they were the worst of the worst. And it's even more infuriating because as women, they should know better. And it's like, you guys just are really just selling yourselves out to for what? Like, I cannot. But Caroline Leavitt is unflappable usually. But when you know that you've gotten her, she becomes like even more rabid and more indignant with that.
So she used to be the communications director for Elise Stefanik.
I know.
Right? Okay. So before she left and went to go run for Congress, which
Who ran for Congress? Caroline Leavitt did?
Yeah.
Where? I didn't know that.
Was it like New Hampshire or something like
Oh,
that?
for God's
Yeah,
sakes.
yeah.
Oh, that's
So
typical though. Like when you people when she knows she didn't have a shot in hell, then you need to find something to do in between. People will run for Congress.
yeah,
These like
which
vanity
is just like,
candidacies.
why? Like, running for office is like the hardest thing ever. I'm like, I would not do that in my free time, but
Well,
I'm
I
also not
mean,
girl,
look,
I love it.
when you're addicted to power, I mean, I've
Yeah,
always wanted to run for Congress. I thought I would have been a congresswoman by now if you had asked
she
20-year-old
lost.
Tara.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, of course you lost. If you had asked 20-year-old Tara, who was vice chairman of the college Republicans at GW, where she would
Yeah.
be at this point in her life, I would have been like a member of Congress. That's always what I wanted to do. Clearly, life had a different path, and I took a different
Well,
detour. And maybe one day I will be a member of Congress. I just don't know what party I would be, because in New Jersey, which is where I would ultimately love to run, there's no it's virtually impossible to be an independent.
yeah.
It's one or the other, and they're not in my lifetime will I ever have an R next to my name. So and running as a Democrat, we'll see. I don't know, but anyway.
Well, I brought up Elise because she has kind of the same tell.
Yeah.
When she is irritated, because Elise Stefanik is very smooth when she's prepared and she knows what's coming.
Yeah. Well, she did go to Harvard.
Right. I mean, and listen, this is why they paper the room with their own people, so they don't get any questions that are going to be too difficult. And so Elise Stefanik, when she's caught off guard, and she is sometimes, not often, because she's very, very protected by her staff, she gets very.
Yeah.
And Caroline has the same tell, except her.
Yeah. The lip, the pursing of the lips.
Yeah.
And it's not the pursing of the lips from Devil Wears Prada type of pursing of the lips. No. It's not a Miranda Priestley pursing.
Disaster.
Yeah. We've only seen one actual smile.
Which, by the not to derail us, but did you see that there's going to be a sequel?
I sent it to you.
Right. Oh, right. Yes. We talked about this because I always get that confused because there's a musical. They're making a musical.
Really?
Yes. Devil Wears Prada, the musical.
I know.
Elton John's writing the music, which I'm like, okay.
I mean, that's
the circle of life.
Right. But like the whole the collection, I don't know, what are they anyway, that's another conversation.
I just feel like sometimes not everything needs to be a musical.
I agree.
That is just my feeling, because I mean, like, there was a period of time on Broadway where like everything was a jukebox musical, and there was like the Elvis musical and the Beach Boys musical, and there was this and this and this. Jersey Boys, I'm not trying to derail us here, I promise, but Jersey Boys was the one that broke through. And I was actually there the night before they opened, and everybody was on their feet. I was like, all right, somebody finally got it.
Right.
But then they started making movies into musicals, and I'm like,
right.
Okay, some of it works, some of it doesn't.
Works and some don't.
But not everything. No. Mamma Mia, yes, correct. Or no, that was the other way around. That was the
other way around.
But anyways, it's
well.
Just, yeah.
We're as fans of Devil Wears Prada, and I'm excited that there is a sequel, and most of the original people are going to be in it. I'm happy about that. I don't know how I feel about it being a musical. Some things shouldn't be a musical. I don't see that happening. But Elton John writing the music gives it potential because he's amazing. And well, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Isn't he well, anyway, it doesn't matter. That's a different show. So back to Caroline Leavitt and this godforsaken freaking press conference today, where she was knives out a little bit more than usual because she was on the hot seat about this Epstein shit. And Donald Trump has been, you want to talk about on one. He has been thumbing away all kinds of wild and crazy shit all week, because this is not going away. It's an albatross around his neck. And they tried to tell people, oh, there's nothing to see here. And his base went, what do you mean there's nothing to see here? You told us for 5 years there was something to see here. We put in bitchy bongo Bongino into the FBI and wacko Cash Patel and what's her name? Pam Bondi. All you guys said it was you had the files, it's on your desk. What do you mean? Where is it? So that didn't fly. And then over the weekend, it just got worse. Dan Bongino threw a hissy fit and was threatening to resign. He didn't show up for work. So they were all bitch fighting like Real Housewives of Mar-a-Lago. And Donald Trump was like, stop fighting. And then JD Vance had to prance in and then be like, get on the phone and say, like, please stop fighting. And
I wish I had that video. I wish.
Oh my God.
I should have pulled it. Guys, if you haven't seen it, there is a video. Okay. Because as LA apparently is a hellscape that is a war zone, but still safe enough to bring your children to Disneyland, which JD Vance did with his wife and his offspring.
Little hellions. Yeah.
His hellions. And there's a video of him like through the bushes or something, and he's like running, and he's like,
I don't know if I wouldn't call that running.
It was like,
I saw somebody in the comments on because I made a comment about, I have questions. Is there a sports bra involved? I don't know what's going on here. And then in my like the comments of my tweet, people were like saying
Prancy Vance,
and somebody said JD Prance, and I was like,
oh my gosh,
I'm using it.
Oh my gosh,
I don't know who the user was. It was not my original. So, but
I mean,
I can't unsee it. I cannot unsee it.
No, JD. Oh my god, perfect in every way.
Yeah, JoJo tweeted about it. She put like little like tap dance, like
she did.
It was
she
great.
did.
Oh my god!
And that was her. If anybody else sees another version of that, JoJo was the first one to put the little clicky, the clicky clacks, the clackers.
Yeah, the clackers
to put the clacker sound effects on that. Yes, so just shout out to JoJo.
So yeah, anyway, so all of that was a lot of drama over the weekend, and it still didn't go away. So by Monday, it's now getting worse because it was every single person on the Sunday shows was asked about it.
Right.
Now Trump was asked about it at whatever he was doing. He was in like his little stupid, walk into the screaming over the plane or Marine One dumbass press gaggles he does. So he was just getting more and more incensed. And then he was like, I didn't even know the guy. And then it was like, then he called him a creep. He was in the cabinet meeting.
Epstein. Yeah. Why are we still talking about it? The guy's a creep. Like, and he's trying to Coffee Boy. He's trying to Papadopoulos.
Yes.
Epstein, who is, again, it is on recording. Michael Wolff interviewed him in like 2018 or whenever it was, 2017. And he says Donald Trump was his closest friend for over 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And
like, think about being friends with someone. I haven't even known you, Tara, for 10 years. Like, you're saying, and I know you very well. So it's just
like 10 years is a long time. Yeah. And Claire McCaskill said this on MSNBC. She's like, there are more pictures and video evidence of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein together than there are of trans athletes in college. I was like, that's also a great line. I know, but also true. So, I mean, it's undeniable that they were buddies. And I was telling Michelle before we came on air, for those in the comments that are like confirming this, yes, they were BFFs. That I just saw that the Wall Street Journal apparently has obtained a letter that Donald Trump sent to Jeffrey Epstein, like a birthday greeting. And it allegedly says, the note that says, in part, he says, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. We have certain things in common, Jeffrey."
Wait, where is this? Hold on.
It's on, let me see, I can pull it up on X. Fact Post News. New reporting has uncovered Trump's note to Epstein in a birthday card. And there's a graphic.
Let me see.
And it says, the letter bearing Trump's name, which was reviewed by the Wall Street Journal, is bawdy, like others in the album. It contains several lines of typewritten text framed by the outline of a naked woman, which appears to be hand-drawn with a heavy marker. A pair of small arcs denotes the woman's breasts, and the future president's signature is a squiggly Donald below her waist, mimicking pubic hair. The letter concludes, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret," unquote. In an interview with the Journal on Tuesday evening, Trump denied writing the letter or drawing the picture. Of course he did. "This isn't me. This is a fake thing. It's a fake Wall Street Journal story," he said. "I never wrote a picture in my life. I don't draw pictures of women," he said. "It's not my language. It's not my words." That's what's out there right now.
Okay. So first of all, if it's the Wall Street Journal, just if anybody doesn't know, Wall Street Journal is owned by Rupert Murdoch. It is not exactly an unfriendly publication to Donald Trump and Donald Trump's ideologies.
Right.
However,
media matters.
No. But it does, I will say, Wall Street Journal probably more so than the New York Post, which is also owned by Murdoch, is a little more serious. and will hold his feet to the fire, sort of, a little bit more than
little higher journalistic standards than the New York Post.
So Tara, I don't mean to interrupt on this topic. I just, like, 4 people now have mentioned it in the chat, and I just Googled it to confirm. CBS has canceled Stephen Colbert's Late Show. I am literally, I am in shock. I am in shock.
Wow.
Like I'm like having, I was like, I actually can't not say something right now, because like there's a conversation happening in the chat right now about it, being like, oh my God, I know. Yeah. It's
just so that people understand, like, Michelle's dream job in life was working on the Colbert Show.
Yeah. Like, I'm actually like,
like, I can't believe, and this is, you know what this is a direct result of. And we'll come back to the Epstein stuff in a second. Yeah. This is a direct result of what's happening at CBS and the fact that CBS has capitulated to the Trump administration, and Colbert has been one of the most effective, most biting, smart critics of Donald Trump and his everything for the last 10 years, that I'm sure that there was pressure put on them to cancel Colbert, because you cannot tell me that Colbert wasn't getting the views or wasn't successful or his ratings were tanking. That's bullshit.
Yeah, they're saying it's a financial decision.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, I bet it was a financial decision.
Why? Because you're giving how much money to Donald Trump?
They're only giving $16 million to Donald Trump. But the financial part of this is they were threatened that their merger with Paramount Skydance wouldn't be approved by the Trump administration unless they did this. I'm sorry. I thought you were going to say they were canceling 60 Minutes.
Well,
I wasn't expecting Colbert, but I wouldn't be surprised if 60 Minutes is next.
Listen,
this is just disgusting.
I'm just looking at the news just because, I hit the news tab on Google just to see what would come up.
Yeah.
And it says, well, because, Paramount owns Comedy Central.
Right. Oh, they're going to come for Jon Stewart next?
So, right. So it says the Paramount comics, Colbert and Stewart, are sharp critics of 60 Minutes deal. So they have been extremely vocal about what CBS has done to bend the knee to Donald Trump and his authoritarian threats.
So have the anchors at 60 Minutes. Wasn't it what's his name? I'm forgetting his name now, who was very critical on an interview recently. So, like, I'm telling you, 60 Minutes is next, which is this.
Well, like, I just, my head's been just in other things and Epstein and all the other whatever that I've kind of missed this. 2 days ago, Deadline says Stephen Colbert riffs on Paramount's big fat bribe.
Yes.
That's what he called it. A big fat bribe to settle Donald Trump's CBS 60 Minutes lawsuit. First of all, let me just tell everybody. Okay.
Scott Pelley, by the way. Thank you, Eileen. Scott Pelley. Yeah, that's who it was.
Let me just say, and then we can get back to the other thing. Yes, and I've been very vocal about this to every employer that I've had in the last however many years. My white whale of a job was to go work for Stephen Colbert. Like, that was my dream job. Doing what? I don't know. I actually don't even care. I would go get that man's coffee. I love Stephen Colbert. When I first moved to New York City, I went to go see a show, a Tom Stoppard play, and my best friend and I were sitting in like the 4th row or something, and we turned to our right, and I go, oh my God, it's Stephen Colbert. And he was sitting with us and his wife. And then about a year and a half later, when he spun off from the Daily Show to do the Colbert Report, it was like somebody I went to college with, it's a long story, but I became friends with a guy named Mark Malkoff, who is the audience coordinator for the Colbert Report. I was one of the very first shows that Colbert ever did.
That's cool.
And I ended up, because, Mark became just like a friendly acquaintance.
Yeah.
And I lived in the neighborhood. I went to go see the Colbert Report more times than I can even tell you. Like, and I like sitting backstage. I brought my parents. I went many, many, many times. There was one time, in fact, that I sat in the audience when nobody else was there yet. And it was when he would still do the feed from, Jon Stewart would do the feed, and they talk to each other, have the banter, and then Colbert would do his show. Right. So he was filming that. And so we were sitting there, and it's just me and my friend and like nobody. And he walks up to me and he comes to me, he was like, hey guys, what are you doing? Where are you from? Whatever. And he was like, I want to be an actor. I want to be an actor. And we talked about theater and we talked about musical theater because we, our love for musical theater.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say, I'm really upset about this right now, actually.
Why didn't you ever try to work for him then? Why didn't you ever say, I would love to work for you?
Because my life was on a different path at that point. And then, my life had a different path, and I still thought I was going to be a famous actress, which didn't happen, which is fine. I'm fine with that, actually. But Stephen Colbert, everyone that I have ever spoken to who has worked with him, who has known him, says that the man you see on TV is exactly the man who he is in real life. He teaches Sunday school every Sunday, still to this day. He is a devout Catholic. He loves his family. He suffered tragedy very similarly to Joe Biden. That's why they have the kinship that they have the kinship over that tragedy. And I just want to, and Alex, the lovely Alex Trowbridge, who works with us, he makes some of our rapid response videos with us, worked for Stephen Colbert as well, texts him on his birthday, and Alex hasn't worked for Colbert in, quite a few years.
Yeah.
He's the kind of person like that. He forges these kinds of relationships with people for years and years because he's a good person.
Yeah.
And he's extremely talented. He cares deeply about this country.
Yeah.
And he's been able to tell the stories of this country and his ways, the way that he feels about it through comedy and through satire. North Carolina.
South Carolina. Yeah.
One of the Carolinas.
I think it's South Carolina. You might be right.
Yeah, and like his sister ran for Congress. Like his name was Stephen Colbert, and it became Colbert. Like a whole thing. But anyways, I just want to give some respect to him, just because
give him his flowers, huh?
Is just like very shocking. It's very shocking to hear. And I can't imagine, listen, when Apple was running Jon Stewart's show, they didn't like some of the things that he was saying, and they tried to censor him. And he told them to basically go kick rocks and canceled his show on Apple. So if Paramount tries to come for Jon Stewart, the two of them, Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert, let me just tell you right now, yes, they're getting older and but not that old. They still got a whole lot left.
Oh, listen, if they do that, there are enough platforms and venues now where it is not a death sentence anymore to get canceled from broadcast. So I suspect that they would find a home somewhere else.
Oh, absolutely.
They're not going away. They're not going to, they may think that this is going to silence them, but they're both wealthy enough where they don't need the money anymore. They could do it for the love of what they're doing if they if they decided they wanted to do that. And I'm sure there are plenty of other platforms where they would both land if need be.
And Stephen Colbert, by the way, also brought intellect to late night. And similarly to David Letterman, but more so because of his curiosity and hunger for knowledge. And it was the kind of show that Misty Copeland would dance live to Yo-Yo Ma playing next to her. And that's the kind of show that he produces, that John Baptiste, got his name. That's how John Baptiste started his big career, was on
the music director.
He was the music director and the band leader. And I will end this by saying that I got married at the Edison Ballroom on 47th Street in New York City in November of 2015, which was just a few months after Stephen Colbert went to CBS. And my husband and I loved the theme song so much that is the song, the Colbert theme song that we walked into our wedding reception.
I'm learning something new with everyone else tonight, guys. I did not know that. And that's, wow. Yeah, that's pretty serious.
So I just, yes, I'm a fan, but it's more than fandom. I just have a deep respect for him and always wanted to work for him. And who's to say, maybe someday I still will. But I'm very sorry to hear this. And I think in the broader spectrum, this is another sign of the authoritarian fascist takeover of this country is bleeding into the culture and the things that we love and entertain us and make us who we are. And that is why culture and the arts is such a huge, huge, huge part of what is happening. And it's not anything that we should ever ignore.
Listen, that's why they're coming for it. which is actually a good transition.
Yeah.
Because besides the Epstein stuff that's been going on this week and all the inconsistencies with that and all the drama behind it, the Congress has been rather busy, and they're still dismantling this country. Now, the big bill that the big beautiful bill that we are calling the Big Beautiful Betrayal, or the big bullshit bill, they need to sell it because the polling shows it's underwater. It's one of the most unpopular pieces of legislation we've seen in quite some time. And so, of course, Trump and Vance, they have to go out on the road and sell it. Same thing this week. They're working on a rescission package, which is basically taking back the funding that was already appropriated for a bunch of agencies and programs and things like PBS and NPR. Republicans have had a hard-on for PBS and NPR for decades. And this is the Project 2025 playbook coming to life again, ticking off the boxes. They finally got their wish to defund NPR, PBS, and then USAID and a bunch of other things that were part of the Doge cuts, because it was legally dubious what Elon was doing. You can't just go in and just like dismantle programs and agencies that have been funded and authorized by the Congress. The Congress, they give out the money. They're the ones that decide. It's the way the Constitution designed it. So they can't, what he was doing, that's why it was being challenged in courts. Well, they were just buying time, because what would make it legal is if the Congress voted on what's called a rescission package, which is to cut funds that they already authorized. Well, that happened in the Senate this week at 2:00 in the morning last night.
2:00 in the morning.
$9 billion of that money, which includes defunding PBS and NPR, was in that. Now, it's not done yet. It has to go through the House, but most likely it will pass the House. But this is just outrageous. And it's all part of the authoritarian playbook to take out the arts, culture, the Kennedy Center, it's the Smithsonian's, the museums, it's all of it. And people who are familiar with what happens in authoritarian regimes, my stupid Alexa, take out our trash cans at 8. It's 8:00, everyone. Do you know where your trash cans are? It's part of what authoritarian regimes do. I mean, it's and we're not being alarmist. I don't know why more people, particularly in the mainstream press, because this is not supposition, it's historical fact, why they don't show the through line.
Yeah.
Here's another example. I mean, because they're scared. Because guess what? CNN and the owners, the parent company of CNN, they're trying to spin CNN off. CNN's about to cut the salaries of a bunch of people. They're about to get rid of a lot of top talent. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see Anderson Cooper anymore. Mark my words. I mean, there's a lot, like they're scared. And Trump knows this. And the people who were behind Project 2025 know this, know that they can dangle those carrots in front of people that don't get out of line. There's a reason why Donald Trump came for the press. He enemy of the people. These are all terms that were used by Hitler and Mussolini.
Yeah.
They all did this. So Hitler called it the Lugenpress.
Lugenpress, right? Lying press. Right? That's right.
Like that. This is all we've seen this before. Oh, somebody put that in there. See?
Yeah. I thought you were reading it. I was like, oh, that's right here. Yeah.
No. Because
Casual observer, by the way, one of my favorite commenters here, always like in the chat with lots of great stuff. So thank you so much for joining in the convo.
On our Wednesday and Saturday shows too, always great commentary from Casual Observer. There's a couple folks that are regulars, and we appreciate your comments because we have a very smart group of folks that follow us too. We have an awesome audience. It's like a little community. I love it.
It is.
But yeah, like all of this is tied together. That's why we're like, oh my God. But people, they don't wake up to it until they lose it. And that's why economic issues are always at the forefront of people's minds. Like all these other things, they matter. And when you put them all together, it matters. But economics, kitchen table, pocketbook, because that's what you deal with every day. That's your most immediate thing every day. The price of eggs, the price of gas, the price of your mortgage, interest rates, those kinds of things. You can't, if there's shortages, you can't get your stuff on the shelves and there, whatever. People notice those things because that's their everyday survival. But all these other things that they're going after and that they're ruining, all of it matters in a free and fair society and a democracy. And they've been chipping away at all of them. Just look at how many people are independent now, right?
Right. We were just talking about this earlier today. I went and met Julie Roginski for coffee today on my way home. And we were talking about this, just like how everybody now, it's just like that's what everybody's going to do now. Anybody who still gives a shit.
Right. Who's not going to obey in advance.
Who's not going to obey in advance.
Because there are those that will
there always will be. The ones who really like give a shit about this country and integrity and having a spine and a moral compass to still do the right thing will sacrifice. Yes. I mean, Terry Moran, I mean, like I've been watching him. I watched this great conversation he had with Adam Kinzinger the other day saying, you know, where he was talking about the interview that they did at the White House and how Donald Trump was walking around, I'm not doing this. And this was a terrible thing. And he's like, you know, the guy's, he's just mean. He's mean like a dog in the street, but he ain't tough. Right. And I was like, yeah.
Yep. Mary Trump has said this.
Tough.
She has talked about this at length. She wrote about it in her first book. Like, he's not. And that's exactly why he's so out of control and surrounds himself with people who will do his dirty work.
Yep.
Because he's a paper tiger. It's all a fucking act. It's all an act. Why do you think he slaps that freaking shoe polish on his face, a shit brown shoe polish on his face? It's a mask to hide. You know, he's so like all
he hides
of
behind that suit.
That hair,
like all of it,
the girdle, all of it. It's all part of his masking that he's just rotten inside. Yep. And it's, you know, and which also, by the way, Caroline Leavitt was asked about his health during that press conference.
Oh, right.
Because people have noticed that Donald Trump looks like shit and that his ankles have been swelling up and the bruises on his hands. Yeah.
And what's going on with that hand?
Yeah. What's happening here? Well, you know what she said? She said that was part of the hand. She said it's part of the aspirin regimen because, you know, he's old. So he does a routine aspirin regimen and from shaking so many hands.
Okay.
I shit you not.
Who's doing this?
I guess like you squeeze. I don't know.
Come on.
But come on. It's from the aspirin from shaking so many hands. Get the fuck out of here.
Like, who's shaking? I mean, listen.
I've shook
many a hand.
I know.
That has a firm grip. But none have ever bruised my handalones.
Like, have you shaken that many hands, Michelle? I mean, you know, there's so many people that love him. He's like the Pope. They just want to touch him. She didn't say that. I'm saying that. But come on, Donald Trump doesn't even like people. He doesn't even like people.
No,
he's a germaphobe. He's a germaphobe. It's well documented. So he's not fucking shaking all those hands. Get out of here.
If his people had any idea the shit that he says about them behind closed doors.
Well, he's saying it now.
I mean, right.
He said it now. Back to the Epstein stuff.
Right.
I mean, I've told the story about what George Conway's daughter, George and Kellyanne Conway's daughter, Claudia, said to me when she was 10 years old about Donald Trump and him making fun of his supporters, calling them suckers.
Right.
Back in 2015. Okay. Yeah. She was 10. It's before she was all of what she is now. This was back in 2015. And she told the story. She was 10 and said that he was looking at his supporters because that's when they were at an event in South Carolina, some like Faith and Freedom conference or some shit. And he was getting ready before he announced. And they wrote because she lived in Jersey and she knew Trump and lived in his one of his condos. It was on the condo board. So they were friendly. And he was trying to get her to work for him back then. And she was like, no. I'm working with Ted Cruz because she knew he's a terrible person.
You know, it's funny you say this because Julie and I got like on we went down like a rabbit hole of a conversation having coffee. And she was telling me about the night before the election in 2016. She saw her.
Kellyanne?
Yeah. At Fox. Yeah. And how she was like, you know, because everybody thought for sure Trump was going to lose. And so she sees Kellyanne. And she's like, and by the way, before that, like Kellyanne couldn't get work. And she was like, you know, asking everybody for like a gig or whatever. And so she gets this and it just, you know, it's changed her life financially. But
that's for sure.
I mean, but the night
But she wasn't hurting for money. George is worth a lot of money. He was a very successful lawyer. But anyway, go ahead. They live in a beautiful house in Alpine. But anyway.
Right. But she says that she said to Kellyanne the night before the election, like, listen, you know, you did everything you could. You know, if it wasn't you, it's him, basically. And she basically said, I just hope it's close. So I'm not humiliated.
Well, as someone who's known Kellyanne for 20 years and, you know, that I was very, very shocked, disappointed that she decided to stay with the campaign after the grab 'em by the pussy stuff.
Right. And you've said this.
I've said it many times that I blame her.
She could have changed the course of history.
I believe that strongly. I will stick to that. She had an opportunity to say no as the mother of a daughter. I think she has 2 daughters, actually. I think there's another one. She's got 4 kids. And she's got a set of twins. And I think
the twins. I feel Claudia is one of the twins. Yeah.
Right. So she's got a set of twins and she's got 2 more. But anyway, she has a daughter. And I look at that whole situation and I'm like, how could she possibly, the Kellyanne Conway I thought I knew, who stood up for women, who ran a women's polling organization, was on a women's program with me for 10 years called To the Contrary. I mean, I was like, and she was smart. I mean, Kellyanne's no dummy.
She's very smart. She's very
good at what she does. And she's a Jersey girl, South Jersey, but she's a Jersey girl. So I was like, there's no way Kellyanne stays. And when she decided to stick by him and not walk away, that gave a permission structure to all the men who were very uncomfortable with this. There were a lot of Republicans who were uncomfortable with this, that were like, I'm out. I mean, Congressman Jason Chaffetz was like, I can't do it. I have a daughter. There's no way. Like, they were going, people in real time, how they really felt that weekend back in 2016. They were being honest.
And they felt free to say so because everybody was certain that he was going to lose.
Correct.
And that's the difference.
Sure. Right.
That's the difference between them now and them then.
Because they looked at it like this: if a white woman, suburban white woman, mother of a daughter,
right, blonde,
could still support Donald Trump after the grab him by the pussy controversy, then there's nothing he could possibly say that he'll lose votes. So we'll stick with him.
Yeah.
That's what happened. If she had come out and said, I'm sorry, I'm resigning. If Kellyanne Conway had resigned that weekend and said, I can no longer stand by this candidate as a mother, as the mother of a daughter, and as a woman in America, that would have fucking changed the course of history. And instead, she sold her soul for relevance, power, money, fame, and look at where we are. And
it destroyed her family.
And it destroyed her family. And look what it did to her daughter. You think Claudia didn't see that hypocrisy in her mother and what she was willing to do and was like, what? There's a reason why that's a very dysfunctional situation. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to say.
I know. And it's funny because Julie and I were talking about George as well and how, it's been interesting. I mean, I don't know him I don't really know him that well, just, through other things. But to see him like emotionally moved by the state of the country and, watching people make choices one way or another. Like, I mean, watching him actually become an emotional publicly about these things and get choked up. I was like, you know what? Like, I don't smell bullshit on this guy. I actually think that he means this stuff.
Look what it cost him.
I know.
You can't tell me that. I mean, maybe in the beginning he was like, he wasn't thrilled, but he's like, because remember, they were even considering him for a position.
I remember.
But then he was like, you know what? And that something definitely shifted considerably. There was a tectonic shift there where he has made it his life's work. I mean, he gave $1 million of his own money.
I know. We were talking about that too. And I was like, can you imagine first of all, having $1 million and then having enough of the millions to give it away?
Yes.
It's really wild.
It cost him his family. And so you mean, we see the hypocrisy. Imagine what he saw.
I know. I can't even imagine. I knew that I was going to like George Conway from the summer of 2020 when we had an all hands call when we were at LP and it was all hands. It was everybody on staff, which was like the place had a lot of people at that point. And George called in from his phone in his car. He had the video on and he interrupts whomever it was that was talking. And he goes, guys, Trump just called Yosemite Yosemite. And he like hung up and he left.
Yeah, George is a hoot, man. He's a hoot. I've always enjoyed him. he's a hoot and a half, and you know, he's still out there fighting the fight, and so we appreciate that. But I just can't imagine what it's like to be in that position. But anyway, we got off on that tangent. We were talking about Trump being unwell, and just, you know, and so she lied about the handshake, that, you know, that's about hands, and then she said that he has some kind of like a chronic, what is it called, venous something. There you go. Venous
insufficiency, chronic venous insufficiency. Something about like how your blood veins can get caught all up in your legs or something, and it can't get to your heart.
It's usually from people who are old or in terrible health, or both.
Well, it's funny because, listen, I think that, this is just my opinion, I think that this little announcement is, they're trying to do a couple things with this. Number one, get him some sympathy. Like, oh, poor old man, he's sick. Well, don't be mean to him. He's a sick man. It's like after the attempt on his life in Butler, it was like, oh, nobody say anything. And I'm like, no, we can say stuff. It's fine. He's like, it's fine for all the stuff that he's done. I think we're fine.
Yeah.
So I think there's that. There's like the distraction. They're trying to create a distraction and sympathy for him. But I think the other part of this is that his health is actually much, much worse than that.
Oh,
and that this is like the leaking the 2 pages of his tax returns to Rachel Maddow. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's just like this when there's, you know,
and also
a mountain.
They can't ignore it because there's just too much photo evidence. And between the Epstein thing and this, it's like you can't ignore.
And the ankles, I mean,
ankles, right? Like, I mean, it looked like he was, it was was bad. So they had to say something. Yeah. And so all of this is going on. And then Trump goes to Pennsylvania for the economic conference, and then turns around. Oh, you know, he was at a faith breakfast or some bullshit, because he's always got to do that, and then he curses at it, right? Just like I did just now. Of course, he doesn't give a damn about anything faith or Christian. He's, you know, such a Christian man.
Yeah,
but he's
while Scott Jennings is over here clutching his pearls about Gavin Newsom saying "son of a bitch" or whatever,
and motherfucker.
I'm like,
I'm like,
oh, I'm sorry. Are you okay with Donald Trump on the lawn of the White House saying "f this" and "f that"?
Well, they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and then okay, fine, you lose it for a half a second. All right, at the faith breakfast conference thing. I mean, the guy isn't anyway. So he does that, and then JD Vance goes to, like I said, prances out to Pennsylvania to sell this big bullshit beautiful bill nonsense and the propaganda tour. And I saw that he was going to go out there on Saturday, and I went into a chat. Now, I wrote a Substack about this. So if you guys are not subscribed to my Substack, it's Uncompromised on the Substack. I put the whole story over there too, and with a couple other little nuggets. But we asked around, like, are Democrats doing anything? Like, are they going to counter message JD Vance's appearance here?
Summer Fridays, Tara.
Yeah,
Summer Fridays.
Summer Fridays. And what was the other thing? There was another something besides.
Like, we can't do this on weekends. We're not gonna keep up with anything on the weekend.
The top lines of what to know on the weekends, because it's the summer, it's the weekend. And we were like, what the fuck? Wait, I'm sorry. Does MAGA say it's the weekend? Do they take the weekends off? No, last time I checked, they never take a day off.
No, they bring their laptops to the beach. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's these people don't take a day off
to the golf course. Like, they never stop. So anyway, we asked around, no one was doing anything. And I'm like, okay, he's going to a swing district where a Republican took out a Democratic incumbent. If it's districts like these that Democrats must win, they think they're going to regain the House. Nothing. Crickets. So I said, fuck that. No, we got to do something. So we stepped in and we said on Monday, I said, look, this is what we're going to do. And Michelle and I got together and I said, we've got to do some messaging to counteract this thing. Wrote the script on my way to the doctor's office because I needed to get a cortisone shot in my knee. I'm like whispering in the waiting room with the doctor's office.
You're like, no. The first line has to be, Donald Trump betrayed you. I think that's it. We just have to come out and say it.
That's exactly what. I had the golf voice.
It's just like this. Okay, hold on, I gotta go. Bye.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened. And our great editor, Alex, put it together. Michelle did the VO, and we did a little digital buy where it's what we call geofencing. We found out the exact location and what time Vance was going to be there. And we sent it to the phones in that venue area, and then also to a larger swath of the district there. It's like Lackawanna and Lucerne counties in Pennsylvania. We did this with our little teeny tiny budget
Yeah,
to
teeny
do
tiny.
something, because the Democrats didn't do shit. And we were like, okay, you hear me say we got to go on offense. We say it all the time. I'm like, no. We actually are going to walk the walk here. This is what we would like to do. We had more money, we'd do more of it. But we need to show proof of concept. And this is what we did. Here is Big Beautiful Betrayal.
Donald Trump betrayed you. Did you know Donald Trump's Big Beautiful Bill is taking away your health care? It's closing hospitals in your communities. It's kicking your mom out of her nursing home. It's taking food away from hungry children. And it doesn't even reduce our debt. All to make these guys richer. It was all a lie. Does that sound beautiful to you?
That's how you do it, folks. Okay?
Yeah.
You just go and right at them, 30 seconds. You tell people right away Donald Trump is betrayed you.
You can say a lot in 30 seconds.
You sure can. We just did.
Yeah.
And because people's attention spans are short. So you got to get them right away. And it's like this, something like this should be inundating swing districts. If they should be following, if we had the money, I would follow JD Vance or Trump around wherever they go for these tours. And I would have a billboard truck that says Donald Trump betrays you, circling the area. I would do the digital billboard trucks. I would have billboards on highways when they come in, knowing the route that they're going. Because if you know the venue, you have an idea. And I would, do stuff like that. Donald Trump has lied to you. Donald Trump is going to kill your grandma. I mean, you just do these things over, you pierce it. Frankly, if we raise enough money, because we're still raising money for it, because we could, there's lots of places we could play this.
Yeah.
I would love to play this in Bedminster on Fox News and on the Golf Channel.
This is
to drive Trump crazy. Because if he sees this on top of everything else that we're talking about, that Donald Trump betrayed you.
Yeah. Well, so, okay.
We would love to do it.
So, to talk about the other place. Yeah. So I was there for 4 years, very similarly to Tara.
Yep.
And for 3.5 of those years, I helped run, mostly ran the creative department, which became a huge job that was beyond just kind of creative direction. It became creative strategy and also placement strategy. And there was always several prongs, right? There was the prong of like bothering Donald Trump with the audience of one stuff. And then there was like narrative setting things. And then there was following the news cycle, trying to set the news cycle. But these things became, some of them, there was an audience of one thing, but there was also a greater strategy of like hitting his followers. And one of those things was Sucker. We did the Sucker ad.
Yeah, it was a good one.
And we ran that which also I think I did the VO for that too. Funny enough.
For those who are asking, that is Michelle's voice.
Yeah. And he lost it, like went crazy.
I remember. And
because he doesn't like to be called out on his shit.
Nope.
And it drives him crazy. So, and I believe it was the summertime, because again, if anybody is watching and operatives or anything, like if you run a 30 or a 60-second ad in the Bedminster media market, which is like this big, and you run it on Golf Channel, ESPN,
Fox
and
News.
or Fox News on the weekends,
Trump will see it.
Trump will see it because they've got the TVs on all the time, and he will see it because he also has like TVs like in his room and everything. So I do remember this. And I also remember somebody at the Washington Post, like fact checker, called us because there was a line in there saying that like, basically he's going to take all your money and like put it in his own pocket. And he's like, can you prove that he's putting it in his pocket? And we're like, yeah. Like, hello, just look. And he wrote an article. This reporter was like, they made this up and the thing. And then it was like 6 months later, the story came out that basically this is what he was doing. Yeah. And we're like, we'd like a retraction. Of course we didn't get one.
No.
But this is the stuff that we did. And it was, yes, there was a lot of audience of wanting and in my opinion, sometimes too much, but because I mean, it can't be your total business model, but whatever.
Correct.
But there was
move voters.
Yeah. So let's move some voters too.
Right.
But there was a lot of value to it. To bother him.
Him. Yeah.
Because also
mistakes.
He makes mistakes, and it also creates more rift within his circle. And because his circle is always trying to protect him. from bad news and from himself.
Yep.
But if he receives bad news about himself in a 30 or 60-second ad, they can't do anything about that.
No. And also,
then he just loses it.
Yeah, he loses it. People get fired. That happened. I mean, and then if we had the money, I would run an ad right now about him going after his own supporters. The fact that he called them weaklings and stupid, and I don't need your support. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Like, I would.
My favorite thing that he says in his things.
It drives me nuts. I'm like,
thank you for attention to this matter.
What is that? It's so weird.
It's weird, but it's like every time I read it out loud to Joe, like I'm always like, Joe, did you see this today? And it's like, thank you for that. He like dies laughing. He's like, he's so stupid.
I know. It's so just like, oh my God. Anyway, but I would put an ad together with all those things of his insults to his supporters.
Yep.
And say, once again, this is what Donald Trump thinks of you. Donald Trump has betrayed you.
Well,
again,
and
farmers, and veterans, all the people who thought that he was going to be their savior.
All of them.
Thinks of
all
you.
of them. Well, and so Tara and I separately jumped into the chat. Denver Riggleman was doing his podcast with Amy McGrath the other night. And I jumped in from Seneca Project's YouTube and asked a question about, like, do you think that there's anything that can break the cognitive dissonance with his base? Like, is there anything? And if so, what is it? And Denver said, the Epstein files. Like, this is the thing. And to your point, like, yes, pointing out he's lying to you. He's betraying you about this big, beautiful bill. But like, if he's lying to you about that, what else is he lying to you about?
Yes. I don't completely agree with Denver that this is going to be the end. I think it opens.
I think it cracks
the door.
I think so too.
You know what I mean?
I think so too.
There is a crack here, a fissure that could get wider.
Right.
But I think it's going to take a lot more than that because people are so invested. So maybe again, there's an opening here. There is. To
chip.
That's right. But death by 1,000 cuts. And if Democrats support, or if we were well funded, we could do it too.
I know.
We can only do our part. We can only do our part. So So we're doing our little part, and we're grateful to all of you who have donated so far. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Those. We appreciate that greatly, and we're just gonna keep plugging along here at this, and keep monitoring what's going on.
Well. And I one more thing about the Epstein thing too is, I think about even like Watergate and Nixon, right? It's like there were the believers right up until the end. And, those tapes, at the end of the day
that's what did it.
That's what did it. And I'm like, now the fact that Epstein tape from the jail cell, that we knew that the 1 minute was missing. But now they're saying Wired.com reported there are 3 minutes missing.
Yes.
And in the metadata of that file, you can see
all manipulated.
It was all manipulated through Adobe Premiere, which is like the Adobe video editing software.
Right.
And they can see that in the metadata. So
like
here's the thing. I was like, okay, you aren't killing those conspiracy things. Aaron Rupar tweeted something that actually made me laugh. He was like, last week, I was thinking that these conspiracy theories were all a little silly and they're a little overwrought. He goes, but today, a week later, I believe that Donald Trump walked into that cell and killed that man himself. And I'm like, honestly, you start to wonder.
You start to wonder.
Well, because here's the other thing. Now, you didn't know this right before we started the show.
Oh, yes. You got to say this
tweet, from Ron Wyden.
Senator Ron Wyden, for those who don't know and who are not from Oregon.
Right. Senator Ron Wyden. He's been around for a while. He's not exactly
no, he's been around forever.
A drama person, you know what I mean? But he tweeted this today. Big news for my investigators on Epstein's sex trafficking operation. The Trump administration has an Epstein file detailing 4,725 wire transfers and almost $1.1 billion with a B, flowing through just one of his banks. Hundreds of millions more through others. Like, guys, this is so bad. So, I was texting my friend this morning or late last night because Donald Trump fired the prosecutor who was investigating the Epstein case, who just happens to be James Comey's daughter.
That's correct.
And that daughter grew up with my friend because she realized she knew who James Comey was, because she was like, oh my God, Mr. Comey,
he used to
drive me to school.
Yeah.
And so I was like, and he has a few daughters. So I asked Bly, I was like, which daughter was it? And she said, Maureen. I go, shit, girl. And so I sent her the thing. She's like, they fired her. And I was like, I have this feeling that something else is about to happen, because he's doing all kinds of crazy shit. And when I saw this tweet from Ron Wyden, I was like, here it comes.
Here it comes. Yes.
Like drip, drip, drip into like.
Yep. Yeah.
Because I like, you can't. And that's another reason why he keeps saying, oh, it's just made up. It's just made up. Obama made it up and Comey made it up. And
it's not, because like,
and the hoax, everything's a hoax.
It's, well, I mean, I think that's starting to get old for people.
I know.
Because it's like, it's not a hoax.
Not everything can be a hoax.
No. And like, there were real victims.
Yeah.
There were, dozens of women and underage girls who were victimized by this motherfucker and that bitch of his that were recruiting people. And Donald Trump was all up his ass. Okay. Yep. For years, they were buddies. Yep. And he had nothing to say about it, and wished Ghislaine Maxwell well while rotting in prison. Like, there's something very off about all of it. Yes. Now, I'm not going to get into the conspiracy theory part of it, but there's something very off about it. And now we're starting to see.
And just, I mean, if you want to sign up for our newsletter, go to senecaproject.us. We send out a newsletter every Wednesday. Yep. And in part of that, we have Fuel for the Fight. And I always, we together, but it's usually me, like with the documentaries and stuff. Yeah. Suggestions of things to read and watch. That pertains to what's going on. And some of the suggestions I made this week, one was, it's a docuseries called Filthy Rich on Netflix, one about him, Jeffrey Epstein, another one about Ghislaine Maxwell. So you realize that she was a British socialite whose family is full of criminals.
Yeah, including there's a whole like weird Israeli Mossad, like crazy connections. Yeah.
And she hooked up with him because she lost some of her family money, and she like didn't know what to do with herself to lose that, comfort. The other one is called Surviving Jeffrey Epstein. And this is interviews with women who survived being trafficked by him. And it was made by Lifetime, I believe, but it is available everywhere you want to stream or rent something.
I watched that one. I think I watched that one.
Yeah.
And so they were recruited.
Yeah. So at the bottom of this, like, this is obviously a political story and something that we all care about deeply because of the reasons that we all discuss. But at the end of the day, there are victims whose lives were ruined by this man and all the powerful men who enabled him. So it's important that we always remember them as well.
100%. And so on that note, we are going to continue to watch this drama unfold. We will continue to have opinions about this, and we will continue to fill the void where Democrats are not, where we can, to try to turn things around and lay the foundation for us to take the House back in 26, and hopefully, if we can keep it together, have elections in 2028, wrestle control of this country away.
I'm hoping we have him in 26.
I know,
because he's opening. He wants information about voting machines now, and
the
more
redistricting thing in Texas,
which Gavin Newsom has clapped back about. So, which is good
for him.
But anyways.
There's so much going on this week. It's crazy. So
I know.
If you don't watch us on Wednesdays, please do on our Overt show with Julie and JoJo. Saturday, we will do our coffee and conversation where we just kind of hang out and shoot the shit in the morning, and talk about other things, stuff that's going on for a little bit on Saturdays. And we'll be back next week. And yes, definitely sign up for Seneca Snapshot. That's our newsletter. You can just go to senecaproject.us. That's our website. Can sign up for all the things. If you're compelled to help us financially, that's great. We would love it. And also, if you can't do that, for our friends in Canada who are like, I wish we could help you.
I know. I always see your messages. I feel so bad.
I know. I'm like, listen, share our content, help the algorithm. The more the merrier. We can spread the word.
And subscribe. It really does. Like it sounds like a tagline, but it's real. And those things matter, because then, the more people that do that, the more people who see what we're doing. So that's just how it works.
So I'm going to go now and do an interview with Australian radio about Trump's first 6 months. I love the Aussies. They're fun. Even though I like the Kiwis better, I'm Team New Zealand. But Australia is awesome. I would love to visit. Anyway,
Lord of the Rings.
That's New Zealand. I've been there. It's amazing. And I geeked out and made my husband watch the full trilogy of Lord of the Rings because he hadn't seen them before we went for his 40th birthday, and he loved them. So when we were in New Zealand, I know. So your hometown, we Weps from Crimson Tide. When we went to New Zealand, I was able to be like, that's where this was filmed. That's the Tower of Sauron. Like Marcel was like, cool. Okay, enough. I'm like, you don't understand.
I know. So anyway, there's a reason it's one of the most beautiful places in the world. So.
It is. It's one of my places to abscond. It's New Zealand or Italy. One's a little closer. One has a little better food, but the other one has everything.
Yeah.
Well. So,
exactly.
Anyway,
well, I'm going to play us out with a few of our things we've been doing recently.
Yes.
So if you want to stick around and watch some of those, I'm going to play those. If not, we'll see you on Saturday, hopefully. And if not, next week. All right. Bye, everybody.
Donald Trump betrayed you. Did you know Donald Trump's Big Beautiful Bill is taking away your health care? It's closing hospitals in your communities. It's kicking your mom out of her nursing home. It's taking food away from hungry children. And it doesn't even reduce our debt. All to make these guys richer. It was all a lie. Does that sound beautiful to you?
We have spent more than $7 trillion in fighting wars in the Middle East. As a candidate for president, I loudly pledged a new approach. Great nations do not fight endless wars.
6 months in, and here we are, turning back on the campaign promises.
And I'm the only candidate in this race who can make this promise. I will prevent World War III. Nobody else is going to prevent it. You're going to end up in World War III.
To breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
The U.S. reportedly striking Iran directly.
President Trump announcing on Truth Social.
A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordo.
But I'm proud to be the first president in decades who started no new wars.
And we bombed Iran.
Going to war with Iran.
Because MAGA is not for foreign wars.
Yep.
We are not for regime change.
After his officials said, no regime change. That's not what we're doing. It's about the nukes. He put out a tweet.
I want to put up a pretty interesting post from the president here, full screen. It says it's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? And then he ends it with MIGA, make Iran great again.
And the reason I started no new wars is they respected the people in this room.
And we are for America first.
And part of me was like, oh, we're not really going to do that.
We should have never got into the Middle East.
We're entering a nuclear war, the World War III.
World War III if something doesn't happen fast. And that's going to be a world war like no others because of nuclear power and other power that's out there.
Their tune is going to drastically change the minute we start seeing flag-draped coffins on the nightly news, on Fox News that brainwashes all the baby boomers.
Thank you very much. I always thought women liked me.
And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy.
I make this statement to the great women.
Questionable comments about a young girl.
You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years.
I am your protector.
Carol opening her testimony today saying, quote, I'm here because Donald Trump raped me.
I want to be your protector.
5 former Miss Teen USA contestants told BuzzFeed that Trump did in fact walk in on them while they were changing.
And so I sort of get away with things like that.
You will no longer be abandoned, lonely, or scared.
Donald held back Ivana's arms and began to pull out fistfuls of hair from her scalp.
You're not going to be in danger any longer.
I turned around and I see Donald standing there. I'm thinking, this son of a bitch just grabbed me.
Women will be happy, healthy, confident, and free.
Trump called Epstein a terrific guy, adding, it is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side.
You will no longer be thinking about abortion.
They're going to just let me bleed out here.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah.
You will be protected, and I will be your protector. Women, I was able to terminate Roe v. Wade. I got rid of Roe v. Wade.
Killing Roe v. Wade.
J.D. Vance, who is now effectively the political heir to the MAGA movement.
We're effectively run in this country by a bunch of childless cat ladies. Roe versus Wade is an abomination.
There's something comparable between abortion and slavery.
When asked about the exception for rape, he said rape is inconvenient.
I asked Vance if he thought anti-abortion laws should include exceptions for rape or incest.
Look, I think two wrongs don't make a right.
Have you changed your stance?
Look, Martha, two wrongs don't make a right.
Look at the extraordinarily restrictive policies toward women that he has supported.
J.D. Vance of Ohio told me that Republicans should back a national 15-week abortion ban.
He said you want to ban abortion in Ohio and across this country. Is that true?
Look, I'm pro-life.
J.D. Vance claiming that women having the ability to leave violent and abusive marriages has harmed society.
One of the great tricks that I think the sexual revolution pulled is this idea that, like, well, okay, these marriages were fundamentally, they were maybe even violent, and so getting rid of them and making it easier for people to shift spouses like they change their underwear, that's going to make people happier in the long term.
You've got J.D. Vance in Ohio running for Senate, talking about childless women are the problem and are destroying the United States.
Cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too.
There's a shadow president in Washington.
Sitting behind the resolution desk.
We didn't elect this guy. He wants us to believe he's a self-made man, that he made his billions through hard work and his so-called genius.
He didn't invent that.
SpaceX explosion.
But the truth is, he mooched off the American taxpayer.
Pronounced subsidies.
Our money. And he's too arrogant to admit the free ride that we have been giving him. Republicans used to attack folks living off government assistance, calling them welfare queens. But it was all a myth. The real welfare queen is Elon Musk.
We gave him all his money.
And he's coming for more. Our Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, our jobs, our private information, our livelihoods, our safety. And Donald Trump is letting him.
Is there anything you've told Elon Musk he cannot touch?
Well, we haven't discussed that much.
Don't be fooled. This isn't about making government work better for you. It's about making America work for him. Are we going to stand back and stand by and let this happen? Hey, Congress, we're talking to you too. You work for us. Do your job and stop this now.
Let's bring out the former president of the United States, Donald Trump.
I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
Absolute dumpster fire for the former president.
Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire?
Could be.
You need to be careful with this crap.
I didn't know she was black.
Racist.
Until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black.
It's just frankly not true.
Such a hostile manner.
He came with a terrible attitude.
I got treated so rudely as this woman treated me.
Oh my goodness. You were running for president. You should not be able to get off your game that quickly.
I have been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln.
A lot of black people are going to look at you and say, what the hell are you talking about?
Millions of people that happen to be taking black jobs.
What exactly is a black job, sir?
A black job is anybody that has a job. I said, Joe and I will go and take a cognitive test. Now, I'd do it with her too. Maybe she wouldn't pass the cognitive test. What we're doing is bringing it back to the states where everybody wanted it. They didn't want Roe v. Wade.
I would love to ask you about January 6th. The people who assaulted those 140 officers,
Yes.
would you pardon those people?
What's going to happen? Oh, absolutely I would. If they're innocent, I would pardon them.
They've been convicted.
And by the way, the Supreme Court just under...
That was quite something.
Yep.
The golden age of America has only just begun.
Veterans will suffer.
It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before.
Friday night Pentagon purge.
President Trump has just fired the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Truly unprecedented.
And we take good care of our veterans.
Veterans
are being fired.
We've been betrayed.
Absolutely betrayed.
A slap in the face.
I feel let down.
I feel like I'm not good enough.
We love our veterans.
The president referred to them as suckers and losers.
We're not losers. We're not suckers.
We care about veterans, but at the same time, we have a fiscal responsibility to use taxpayer dollars to pay people that actually work.
We don't deserve to be treated like this.
Perhaps they're not fit to have a job at this moment.
These people are brave, patriotic Americans that go to work every single day.
We have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work.
I put myself in harm's way for the country.
We put our whole entire life into public service, and all of a sudden, one man comes in and throws it all away.
Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight.
If Elon Musk does what he wants to do, between 200 to 300,000 veterans are fired this year.
Any federal bureaucrat who resists this change will be removed from office immediately.
Veterans make up 30% of the federal workforce.
Combat veterans, it's your neighbors. We want to work hard. We want to help people.
These warriors who shed their blood.
The Department of Veterans Affairs dismissing more than 1,400 probationary workers.
Can you guarantee that veterans' benefits and care will not be affected by these cuts?
No, I can't guarantee anything.
I just feel like I've just been swept up in a dustpan and thrown out. I voted for Trump. A lot of us didn't deserve this.
If elected, Trump would be the oldest president ever inaugurated, but his campaign still refuses to release his detailed medical records.
What's he hiding? A heartbeat away from him is J.D. Vance.
Quite literally one heartbeat away from the presidency.
Trump is not a fit guy.
Heartbeat away from the presidency.
This man is not well.
Heartbeat away.
78 years old.
I will very quickly deflate defeat.
He may not make it.
The vice president becomes the president. Automatically.
What did we learn about what the Vance presidency would be like? Roe versus Wade is an abomination.
He said rape is inconvenient.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
Childless cat ladies.
Project 2025. It's a 900-page document. I guarantee there are things that Trump likes.
I'm very happy with the JD pick. Think of him as a member version of what we do.
Kevin Roberts is a friend of mine.
Bloodless, if the left allows it to be.
What an amazing coup this would be for Peter Thiel.
You've benefited from your friendship with Peter Thiel. Sure.
$15 million.
Do the people who fund your campaigns actually share your values?
He's palling around with people who are skeptical of the 19th Amendment.
If you got women to have more children.
J.D. Vance wants to allow the tracking of women's menstrual cycles.
You have people using abortion basically as another form of birth control.
Trump refuses to release even the most basic information about his health.